Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to rank all the male dolls in Living Dead Dolls 35 series run. I feel like the girl dolls get so much attention, there's so many of them, that the male dolls need some love. There's a total of 38 male dolls. I'm only doing series 1 through 35. So let's get into my ranking of all the male Living Dead dolls. At number 38 on my ranking is Menard from series 22. There's not much to Menard. I did have him on my worst Living Dead dolls. I highly suggest taking a look. And he's part of series 22. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he's okay. He's there, and he rounds out the series 5. So that is Menard. Number 37 is a doll called the After. Now, the After reminds me too much of Menard, but what's special about the After is that this is an Ed Long design, which was featured in the Living Dead Dolls art book, and it pretty much is the same as it looked in the Living Dead Dolls art show that they had back in 2016. But again, very much like Menard, not much to him. His outfit is, again, very similar to Menard, and he just basically rounds out series 29. And that is Menard. Sorry, the After. Number 36, Crack Jack from series 25, very much like Menard and the After. He pretty much just rounds out his series, overshadowed by the girls, but he's here. I actually have him ranked better than I did on my overall worst Living Dead dolls, because I do love his little sailor outfit, which is really cute. And that is Crack Jack. And number 35 on my list is The Hook from series 17. He was also featured in my worst Living Dead dolls video. However, this is the first time he's on camera because I got him earlier this year. And he complements the rest of his series mates well. However, he reminds me too much of Angus Little Rot, another Hook doll. And that is The Hook. And number 34 is Carrot Mortz from series 33. Another member of my worst Living Dead dolls list. And he is ranked higher than that video because I do think his outfit is cute, and it goes well along with the rest of his series of the Moulin Morgue. But I still stand by that I find his hair ridiculous, and his face reminds me too much of Ava from series 22. So that is Carrot Mort. Number 33 is Vincent Vaughn from series 5. So with Vincent, he was the second to last doll I did buy for this series. He's okay. He just rounds out series 5, which features Dahlia. The expression on his face, there's a joke my husband has made about his face, which prohibited me from buying him for a long time. I'm not going to share what the joke is. That's between me and my husband. But every time I see his expression, it just reminds me of that joke that my husband says at poor Vincent's expense. And that is Vincent Vaughn. Next is Jacob from series 13. He also was featured in my worst Living Dead dolls series video. He ranks higher because despite him being boring in comparison to his series 5 doll mates, his outfit is very well made. It's really cute. especially with the jeans. And, you know, and I did get him for an insane price. I got him for $13. And that tends to change my opinion of a doll. And again, has a very common look that Living Dead Dolls constantly revisits with the hoodie and the pants. So, but that's all I have to say about Jacob. Number 31 is Death from series 15. Again, nothing much to him. A lot of these male dolls, they're ranked low. It's because there's not much to them. Though with Death, he does come with one of the coolest accessories, which I will talk about at length when I do series 15. He comes with this cool Ouija board piece. And Death glows in the dark. And that's Death. And from the same series, Judas. Now, Judas is very much like Dahlia was for me in terms of owning this particular character. With Judas, I felt like it was kind of glorifying, you know, someone that betrayed someone in the Bible, which was something I was raised as a Catholic. But, you know, I changed my mind, just like so many of the dolls in my collection, including Black Dahlia, and I just wanted him to complete the set. But he's a very well-made doll. Like, his clothes are really nice. And that's why he's a little higher than, say, Death and the other boys. But, again, not much to him, especially in his face. You know, nothing that sticks out. But that's all I have to say until I do the series overall review of series 15. And that is Judas. Number 29 is Worm from series 30 of the Sideshow Performers. Now, I did talk about him in my video of Living Dead Dolls based on real life people. And I will talk about him once again when I do an overall view of series 30. But he is a really unique doll. But again, not much to him. He also has a reused face mold, which is from the Friday the 13th doll. And like I said, he's really cool just in terms of the type of doll he is. They haven't done one since. And that's about it. And that's Worm. Now 28 is Beelzebub, and he's from series 24. Now the interesting thing with this particular character, and this is going to be a running theme when you watch my videos when I talk about all the series dolls, is I changed my mind a lot when it comes to collecting these dolls in terms of completing the series. He was the last doll I acquired for series 24, and I got him at a time when all of a sudden interest of him spiked up, and I was lucky to get him for retail, but he's very popular out of this series. And he is a real funky doll, a little gross, and he has a very interesting death certificate. Again, I will talk later at detail for the series video. But he's a really cool concept of a doll. And again, not the cutest doll. He actually is a fly. Like, just really, really funny, really cute, really gross. He's all those things and more. And that is Beelzebub. And number 27 is Nicholas from series 32. Now, this is the variant version of Nicholas. And I actually love the variant versus the original Nicholas. Here's a picture of the original Nicholas. I'm not sure what it is, but for some reason I found his original doll a little off-putting, especially with the mask. And he just looks so much better in the red-black variant scheme. I'll talk about that when I talk about series 32. And, you know, like I said, he's a little cool because he is another depiction of a devil doll that Living Dead Dolls have done a couple of them over the years. And I just think his outfit is cute in the variant form. I love the little bow tie. And his just clothes are really well made. And that is Nicholas. The next one, same series as Nicholas, is Ernest Lee Rotten. I don't know, something about the face, I just think reminds me of Uncle Lurch from the Addams Family. And I just think, like in terms of his clothes, another male doll that has really nice clothes. Series 32 wasn't overall popular, so you could still get a lot of these dolls for retail or not too much above retail. And that is Ernest Lee Rotten. Okay, the next doll on the ranking, Mephistopheles, series 25. Again, another devil doll, but this time in the literary style. There was a play called, Dr. Faustus, and Mephistopheles was the villain of that story. I'm not sure if that's the inspiration they were going for with this particular character, but just like Nicholas, this is the variant version of Mephistopheles. This is his original on the chipboard. Here's an up-close picture of him. And I just preferred this take on him. I really like the red skin with the black costume. The other costume, I just wasn't, I don't know, there was something about it that I just thought it was very plain, if that makes sense. It's just something about the black in contrast with the red that I really like. And yeah, and he's a cool doll. Again, I'll talk more about him when I speak of series 27. But that is Mephistopheles. Number 24 of my ranking is Jingles from series 18, the Halloween series. He actually was one of the last dolls that I bought in person for retail at a store. I bought him in a comic book store. I bought him along with Calavera. And I actually had mixed feelings about him. When I bought him, he and Calavera were the only two left. And honestly, I didn't want to leave him by himself. So I bought both he and Calavera. And I'm glad I did, because he actually is very popular in this series. He does command a little bit more on the secondary market. And his outfit is really well done. He has actual bells. They're not little plastic. And he has a mask, very similar to Pestilence from my Four Horsemen video. And that is Jingles. Number 23 is Schizo from Series 3. Living Dead Doll's first killer clown doll. I love that he comes with these adorable balloons, though they don't stay on his hand very well, so I had to use clear ties to hold his balloons upright. But he's really cool. His costume is adorable. And he may or may not be based on a serial killer clown, but he's one of the iconic characters from Living Dead Dolls, and that is Schizo. And speaking of iconic characters, coming in at number 22 is Damien. I know it's surprising that he would be ranked so low, but honestly with Damien, he's ranked low because he is based on a character from a movie, The Omen. And when I decided to do this ranking. I took in a lot of things in my ranking, and one of the things is just the character itself, like the originality of the character. That's why characters such as Menard and the After were ranked so low. And again, Damien is not a bad doll. He's a wonderful boy doll. Again, the one that started it all for the boy dolls. But for me, he is just number 22 out of 38. And that is Damien. Number 21 is Creek from Series 31. Now, in my video, I have two versions of Creek. This is his glow-in-the-dark doll, which is really cool. He was mentioned in my year-end Living Dead dolls that I acquired for 2024. And I hope I can collect all the glow-in-the-dark dolls of Series 31. Now, what I love about Creek, his glow-in-the-dark really boosts his ranking for me because the doll glows in blue, which is so pretty. It's a really nice effect. And, you know, he has great clothes. I love that he has, like, so many layers to his outfit. He's just a well-made doll. But that is Creek. Now we're getting into the top 20, and number 20 is Heyman from Series 19, the Children of the Night vampire series. He just has a cool look about him. I remember when I first saw him, he reminded me of this vampire from 30 Days Night, if you're familiar with that movie. And I just thought he was cool in terms of his outfit, the way he looks. And next to him is his variant, right next to him, which adds another layer to the character. Really cool. And I'll be talking about Series 19 and their variants in a future video. And that is Heyman. And number 19 is the Maitre D' Morts from the Moulin Morgue series. I just love his outfit. He's well done. And I just think this whole series, overall, despite Carrot, it was a well-executed series. Again, not a popular one. You can still find many of the dolls for close to retail, a really good price, a little above the retail. And like I said, just well-made doll. Now, this one is an asterisk because it's not confirmed if this is a boy or a girl doll. So again, a little asterisk, but the fact that it has doesn't have the usual feminine style as the other girls in this series, I assumed it's a boy doll, but I could be wrong. But still, want to give a shout out to how stylish this doll is. Really love the look. And that is the Maitre D' Morts. Number 18 is the Hopping Vampire from Series 27. He is such a fascinating doll. It's based on a mythology of demons from around the world. And I wasn't familiar with a vampire from Asia. And I just thought it was really cool. Just his construction, his design. I mean, the clothes are just adorable. And again, I'll go into more detail with him, but he's just a beautiful doll. I just love him to pieces. And that is the Hopping Vampire. Coming in at 17 is El Luchador Muerto from Series 20, the Day of the Dead dolls. It's a great series, one of my favorite series in overall Living Dead dolls run. And this is another poor character that's not as popular as the females in the series. But he's really cute. Again, another well-executed costume. And And the variant just adds another layer to this character. Just really cool doll. I love him. I feel bad he gets no love. He, of the girls, he is the cheapest of this series. Both the variant and the regular, I paid the same exact price of like $35. Not really popular, but again, he is such a great doll, and he deserves more love than he gets. And that is the El Luchador de Muerto. Okay, number 16 is Teddy from the Series 23 Tea Party set. Another series that, for me, is just one of my overall favorites. It has one of the best themes of all the Living Dead Doll series. He is so cute. He's plush. Again, I will be talking about his series overall. And what's an added bonus for Teddy, for me, is that he actually came from the collection of Joshua Davis, aka Doggy Pants, who I followed for years on his channel. And he sold a huge majority of his collection to fund his wedding to his husband. And I was just so honored to have one of his dolls from his collection. And Teddy has a soft spot in my heart because of that. So that is Teddy. Series 15 is Pumpkin. I'm sorry, ranking number 15 is Pumpkin from Series 16. And Pumpkin is just a really cool doll. I love that he has not only a pumpkin mask, which is at his feet, but also the pumpkin look painted on his face. He's really cool. I actually have 4 more versions of this character thanks to his resurrection. I will go into that at another time. But he's just really cool doll. He's very menacing looking too. And I also have his mini. And that is Pumpkin. Number 14 is Isaac from Series 6, the one with the pets. What I love about Isaac, and they haven't recreated this mold, he's a soft doll, and he's very much made like a scarecrow. He's not stuffed with straw, but he's made to look like he is. Very unique doll. His hands are also like very creepy. Very creepy. And it's funny because his face is so cute, but he has the scariest looking hands. And I just love Isaac. Again, another underrated doll from this series, but he's definitely worth getting. He's such a cute scarecrow, and that is Isaac. Number 13 is Wolfgang. Now, there's not much to Wolfgang, but there's something about him that I just find very cuddly. It's probably because of the sweater, and he has corduroy pants. I mean, he just feels cozy when you hold him. And I do love his face. He has a really cute face. And like I said, he just has a very cozy vibe to him. Again, he gets overlooked in comparison to the other dolls in his series. Oh, by the way, this is Series 10. And I just think he's just adorable. And that's why he's so high on my ranking. And that is Wolfgang. Number 12 is also another character that is not confirmed as a boy or a girl, but I have it on my ranking of male dolls because the style is not feminine like the other dolls in the series, but also because he reminds me of my husband. Not the look, but his hair. I love Thump's curly hair. Sorry, I forgot to say the name. Thump from Series 31. I just love the curls, and not many of the boy dolls have such nice hair, especially hair that's not gelled. to so much that you can't run your fingers through it. And I just love the coat, and just the outfit is just really well done. There's a little more to Thump, but I'll share that in another video, and that is Thump. Number 11 is Ezekiel from series 12, part of an iconic series which has Cuddles and Frozen Charlotte and Chloe and Tessa. So it's hard for the little guy to stick out from the other dolls. But what I love about Ezekiel is this cute little propeller on his hat is such an old school design. And the best part is Ezekiel, if you check out Mezco.com, he is not pictured with his accessory. He has one of the most unique accessories. It's unexpected. Not sure why. They don't really explain it. But I just love that he comes with this accessory. And that's the best thing with Living Dead dolls, is the surprises that you'll find. That's why it's worth opening the dolls, in my opinion, because there's so many details that you miss when you keep them sealed. And Ezekiel is one of them. I never knew he had a toy until I bought him, and lo and behold, it was behind him with the death certificate. And I highly recommend Ezekiel. He's so cute. We are in the top 10 ranking now. And number 10 for me is Gluttony from Series 7. Now, Series 7 wasn't my favorite series. Just in terms of execution of theme, I felt it embodied the dolls that they chose to embody the seven deadly sins, which is what the series is based on. I didn't think they were executed well, at least not all of them. But Gluttony certainly was, and that's why he is number 10 on my male doll list. He's just a little chubby boy. Look at that belly. He's the only doll that has this mold. They never reused it. He comes with these crazy accessories. He comes with a meat tenderizer. He has a little bone. He comes with a knife. But he's just so unique. And yes, he's gross, but I just can't help but smile when I see him. He's just really funny. And I think he embodied the vice of gluttony very well. And that is Gluttony, or as he's known, aka Vulgar the Obscene. Number 9 is Desmodus. What do you do when your dad creates a joke embodied in a doll? You will have Desmodus. He is literally a bat boy. So he's dressed in the baseball gear, holding a bat. He's part of the Series 21 Things with Wings. And again, he gets overlooked from the females in his series, but he's adorable. And like I said, he is a dad joke in 10-inch form. I love Desmodus. And definitely worth seeking out. He has such a well-made costume. Again, I love that his costume is like a 1930s, 1940s baseball uniform, so it's not a current day baseball uniform. And I just think he's adorable. And that is Desmodus. Number 8 is Spring Heel Jack. Now, Spring Heel Jack is actually one of my husband's favorite dolls for Living Dead dolls. And he really liked this character. And I also love the character too. His design reminds me very much of old school Batman. So Batman, from the comics, we know the traditional cape and cowl, but in the movies, he had a couple of serials, and his costume looks very much like Spring Heel Jack. That's why I really like this doll. I just love the costume. It's just really cool. And his variant, love his variant. I couldn't resist getting both of them. And again, it adds another layer to the character. But that is Spring Heel Jack. Number 7 is Edgar from series 30. I just love the construction of his face. Like, it's just so remarkable how they did it. And I just love it. There's a beauty to him that I can really appreciate. He also has the nice hair, very silky in comparison to other dolls. I love that his hair is also, again, not gelled to a crisp, that you can actually put your fingers through your hair. Again, not a terribly popular character among the girls. Actually, this particular series was not that popular. So you can still get Edgar and the rest of the other dolls for relatively cheap, like close to retail, maybe a little above it. But I just love Edgar. And Edgar is sporting the variant look. This is a depiction of the original look. And I have a cabinet card of his OG appearance, but it's in black and white. And again, I'll talk about why I have the variant series versus the regular of series 30. And that is Edgar. Another character from a series that I absolutely love is Tommy Knocker from series 34. Now, me and my husband, when we say Tommy Knocker, we say it with like a Boston accent. So we say Tommy Knocker, and that's how we pronounce this particular character's name. Again, when I say one of the best series, I'm talking about top. This is actually my favorite overall series of all 35, because, not to go into it too much, but just the overall presentation of all the dolls, they are made so well with their clothes, and Tommy is no different. And like I say, he just carries the theme, the theme of children being victims of the mines just so well, and he's so well detailed. I love the clothes on him. It just very well made, and he's just so cute. He also doesn't have hair that's gelled to a crisp. I keep his hat on. I never take his hat off because it's always tough to put it back on. But I just love Tommy Knocker, and that is Tommy Knocker from series 34. Number 5 is Gregory from series 14. I love this doll. This doll reminds me of one of my favorite shows on TV that's ever been made, The Twilight Zone. If you ever watched the original series, or even Goosebumps that did a killer ventriloquist dummy, that you know Gregory is a doll that captures that. It is just so well done. Look at that accessory of his dummy. Like, just amazing. And I just love this doll. He's very popular. He can be a little pricey on the market. Series 14 is an overall strange series, like in terms of theme. And Gregory for me is a standout. The all-star of this series is Allison Crux, who I have to admit I did buy in person for retail years ago at a Hot Topic. If he would have been there, I would have bought him, but he wasn't, and I bought him many years later in the secondary market. I'm so glad I did. He's such a great doll, and I highly suggest getting this doll, and that is Gregory. Number 4 is Angus Little Rot from series 8. Now, as you can see here, there are 3 versions of Angus. He comes blind package. And what I mean by blind, he comes with this burlap sack. And I'll go into detail when I talk about series 8. And I just love this character. I love the surprise element. You don't know which Angus you will get until you open his coffin. And he's just really cool. Give you a close-up of the face. That's why it was so harsh on the Hook doll, because this is the best Hook doll right here, is Angus Little Rot. I also have both his regular and variant resurrection. That's how much I love Angus Little Rot. Number 3 is Macumba. Now, Mezco, Living Dead dolls, I feel they lack in terms of representation. I feel they could have used more characters that weren't white. And that's one of the reasons why I like Macumba, because he was the first non-white character they made. And I love Macumba because of his details. I love his bone necklace. I love that he comes with a voodoo doll. It is so cute. I love his little hat. And again, it just, it's just a shame that it wasn't until series 27 with the Hopping Vampire that they actually did a non-white male character again. And, even with the Presents dolls, they're not diverse. I can't believe to this day we don't have a Candyman doll. I've been wanting Mezco to do a Candyman doll for years, especially with the passing of legendary Tony Todd. And Macumba is an example of the potential of what they can do with that. And hopefully one day we'll get a Candyman doll. And that is Macumba from Series 4. Number 2 is my first male doll, one of my first 2 dolls in Living Dead Dolls collecting, and that's Loose Sapphire. Loose Sapphire is such a cool doll. Yes, he's one of many devil dolls, but if you do a devil doll, you do it right, and that's with Loose Sapphire. He comes with this amazing cane. He has his little scroll that's an actual contract he comes with, and he also has his little pinky ring. Again, I'll go into him more when I talk about Series 2, but he was my absolute favorite boy doll. Well, he's not number 1, and I'll show you why, but he was definitely my first entry point along with Kitty. I always thought Kitty and Lou were like a dynamic duo, and I bought them together along with the mini that you have in front of him. I bought his mini and Kitty's mini as well, and I have his Resurrection doll, which is so cute. But that is Loose Sapphire. And number 1 is Isaiah. I can't wait to talk more about Isaiah when I do the series. First, he is part of one of the iconic series of Series 11 with Rain, Kill Baby, Jubilee, and Maggot. So it's hard for the little guy to stand out. Of the dolls, he's relatively cheaper to get in comparison. And the reason why I love Isaiah, again, I love the clothes, but the accessory he comes with, it's like the most amazing accessory. He's a paper boy who had a tragic end, and the paper that he carries is a well-detailed newspaper that they really put time and effort to get in the details. I bought this little guy a couple of years ago, sealed for $20. Sealed for $20, long after his series came out. And it's a shame because he is such a well-made doll. Best accessory I've ever seen of Living Dead dolls. And again, as a collector, it really gives the argument of why it's worth opening your dolls, especially Living Dead dolls. When they were in their heyday, the effort they put in to the details that you don't see when you get them on a shelf brand new in cellophane in their coffin, you don't see that right away unless you open the doll. And Isaiah is one of those reasons why, for me as a collector, I never regret opening my dolls. And that is Isaiah. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video of all the male dolls in Living Dead Dolls series run. Hope it wasn't too lengthy, but I just thought it was important to talk about, because overall in the doll world and all doll series, male dolls do not get any love. They are discarded by the wayside, and I feel even though Mezco Living Dead Dolls did focus on the females when they did boy dolls, for the majority of them, they did them so well, and just as much attention to detail and clothing as the girls. So, stay tuned for more videos, and as always, happy hunting.